There we go. And welcome into a wide receivers episode of Crazy's Corner. We're going to go through 3 wide receiver rooms, talk about maybe some dynasty value and what to do with some new guys who have been added to the mix or some guys who are going to be coming back from injuries, maybe suspensions. We'll get into all of that. We just recorded a running back show, so go check that one out if you haven't already. I'm joined with Will. How are we doing?
You're doing good. Hey, it's time is getting closer.
Vikings and Panthers both making some good offseason moves so far. So that's all we can ask for at this point. The draft is coming up. Both teams can look to make a couple more moves coming into the draft. Currently, I think this is the closest to the NFL draft it's been in forever that all teams own their first-round pick. Not sure if you saw that stat going around, but
yeah,
I don't expect it to last for too much longer. I think the Giants are going to trade up to get themselves a quarterback. And Tennessee will just trade back and take Carter, who they should probably take anyways at the 3 spot. So let's get into wide receivers here. We got Washington, had an amazing season last year, had really a breakout with Dan Quinn there. Jaden Daniels comes in, and him and Terry McLaurin are on the same page all season long. Terry McLaurin, I think he set or broke the touchdown record for the team. And then they come out this offseason and they add Deebo Samuel to the mix. Do you think his value is better than it was in San Francisco? And do you think his addition hurts Terry McLaurin? Do you think Terry McLaurin and Deebo both have separate roles and they'll both still be fantasy relevant?
I think they're both fantasy relevant. I think they complement each other well. And I think with Daniels at quarterback, the ability to extend the play and go off script with a Deebo Samuels, if he can stay healthy,
I think they complement each other, just like Brandon Ayuk and Deebo did. They both kind of play a different game. Again, Deebo is really good after the catch, and we saw last year Terry McLaurin is amazing on those deep balls from Jaden Daniels. So I don't think the addition of Deebo hurts Terry in any way, but I do think that this is definitely an upgrade for Deebo.
If anything, it hurts maybe the running backs and tight ends, right? Less
whoever
catches.
That might be.
And he's going to take some rushing yards away from rushing attempts away from Robinson or any of the running backs, right? He's probably going to get 2 or 3 carries a game, right? It might hurt Eckler the most.
Yeah,
right.
He is honestly probably a better version of what Eckler is in this career out of the backfield, catching the ball. If you want him.
Makes you wonder if Eckler couldn't be moved in the draft.
Yeah.
To a team that's feeling like maybe the Bears. Someone who feels like, hey, I need something else in the running back room.
Yeah, definitely could be. Or he could be a guy who ends up being cut past the draft, especially with how deep this running back class is. Not sure how much teams are going to be willing to give up and pay Eckler. But I do like this for both McLaurin, Samuel, and I think it's good for Jaden Daniels' value as well. So looking at it, dynasty perspective, this is a good team that you want pieces of now that you probably didn't want pieces of, a couple years ago. So this is big up.
Before last season, people were like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we got another team who I'm not too sure about. They just went out, got in their new quarterback, Sam Darnold, and then they signed Cooper Kupp. I don't really know what to expect from Seattle.
I don't understand what is Kupp thinking. Oh, let me rephrase it.
He got paid to go back and stay on the West Coast. That's what he wanted.
And that's what he wanted. And good for him.
Not for fantasy.
No. No offense to Sam. I really enjoyed last year. But the Sam of the last 2 weeks is the Sam I thought we were going to have every week. And I don't understand what Seattle's doing.
They're now going to be a middling team when they were supposed to be doing a rebuild.
Yeah.
They traded away, DK Metcalf. They cut Lockett just to bring in Cooper Kupp, who's, a little bit younger than Lockett, but not really. If you wanted to just maybe have a bridge, you could have just kept Lockett for cheaper.
Right.
So you get Kupp. They have no offensive line, which is the biggest issue, especially for Sam Darnold. When he
Right.
gets frantic, he can't do anything. You saw that in Carolina. We've both got to watch him play for our teams. He needs an offensive line, and he needs
especially in the front. He's actually – it's interesting because if you watch actually Sam versus Seattle last year, and he had that last touchdown to Justin Jefferson, he was in distress on that. But he can handle the pressure from the edge. He's actually very good at stepping up and moving out of the way on edge pressure. Where you cannot allow him to be pressured is up the middle. He melts. And I don't understand what Seattle's doing.
They're just going to let him run around. And it'll end up bad. I think this hurts JSN's dynasty value now that Cooper Kupp's there for 3 years. Sam Darnold, it was like technically a 3-year deal, but they have an out after 1 year. So I hated this for JSN's dynasty value. This was one of the worst case scenarios for Cooper Kupp's dynasty values, in my opinion. So I'm realistically, if I have these guys, trying to move them, hoping someone has some sort of excitement, but I really don't. I don't see too much positive. A team that will have positives is just figuring out where it's going to be is the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Rashid Rice coming back from the injury. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't get suspended for his fantasy season, but he may get suspended. You have Xavier Worthy. Yeah, if it's a 2-game suspension, it shouldn't really impact him. But you're looking at this team. They have some young wide receivers. Who is going to be the wide receiver 1 for this team this year? Travis Kelce is probably past that point in his career where it's not going to be him, so someone's got to step up. You think it'll be Rice, Worthy, someone else?
I'm a little hesitant on Rice and Worthy because of the off-field stuff. I think you could see the Chiefs make a move. So what wide receiver on another team's under their rookie deal that the Jets could sweep in and get? Because there's not a good wide receiver draft. It's just not. I mean, there's some good, decent guys, but it's not dominant wide receiver draft.
It would give them another Xavier Worthy.
Right. So I'll throw it out there. With the 31st pick for Jordan Addison, who has 2 years left in his rookie deal, for a team that's struggling with the cap.
Yeah, that'd be a good move for Kansas City.
Because what other there's no and Jordan Addison is a great number 2 wide receiver for the Vikings. He'll never be the number 1. He would be the number 1 on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
unless Rice is healthy, then they'd probably be there. Like, I like Rice as the prospect.
I do too.
When he's healthy and if he stays on the field with his off-the-field stuff. I think him and Addison would be a great pairing with Worthy being that super big play guy, super quick and speedy. With what they have right now, I think Rice is the guy that I would be betting on to be the wide receiver 1 just because we've seen it. And I don't think Worthy, like, he can be good and he can have his games, but I don't see him profiling to be a dominant wide receiver 1 in the NFL.
No.
So for me, it's Rice. And then, they might make a move, whether it's trade for a guy like Addison. They could draft a guy.
They need offensive line. So they got to take offensive line in this draft. If not, I don't know what they're doing.
They got Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't matter. It's probably what they're thinking. There's other teams in worse situations.
Yes, there is. There is.
So they're like, we've had a chance. Let's just maybe they take a year and then come back next year with a healthier cap situation and can make a little bit more moves. But
I mean, if the takeaway from the Super Bowl is it's a wide receiver problem, I don't think that's right. But okay.
Yeah, the takeaway from the Super Bowl should be it was an offensive line problem. You had Patrick Mahomes running around all season, just like CJ Stroud was. That's an offensive line problem. It's not a quarterback problem or a wide receiver problem. And then you look at Carolina, it's an offensive line problem. Even with bad wide receivers, you can still look good. Yeah, and that's what the Bears get. The Bears they tried it last year. They said, okay, let's go get DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze, and Caleb Williams would be great. They realized, that doesn't work. It's an offensive line problem, and what have they done? They've addressed the interior offensive line, completely a whole new interior offensive line. So hopefully some teams will start taking notes and getting their young quarterback some offensive line help. But, you can never trust these NFL head offices. So there we go. 3 wide receiver rooms we just talked about. We recorded 4 running back rooms. If you haven't seen that one already, go check it out. Make sure you check out the media app, the virtual press conferencing app to allow you to host your virtual press conference from your own phone. And thank you, Will, for joining me. We'll see you again next week.
See you next week.